20, Taylor Erber. Number 22, Ambrose Kimba. Head coach Harbourside FC, Kevin Lindo. Once again, soccer fans, welcome to Kickoff Stadium. Harbourside FC acknowledges that we are competing, practicing, and learning on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, the lands of the Nanaimo First Nation, Harbourside First Nation, and the Cowichan and Squamish First Nation. We are walking this path together. Fans, at this time, we'd like you to please rise if you are able and remove your headgear for our national anthem, O Canada.
Are you okay to do it on camera? No. He doesn't want to do it.
League One BC's newest club prepares to set sail on its maiden voyage as Harbourside FC officially launches in the league's second season. Their opponent finished 2022 with some wind in its sails after a challenging start to year one. Harbourside, Unity, this is the League One BC featured match. Hello from Kanishtuk Stadium for what is expected to be a record crowd of well over 1,000 as a new club is christened in League One British Columbia. Hello, I'm Peter Shad. Welcome you to our first ever televised live featured match on Telus Optic TV and on YouTube. It's always special when you launch a brand new club for the first time, and Harbourside really does want to represent the Mid-Island region, and that is strongly reflected in their roster. And as for Unity FC, they are trying to be in contention come late July. Just ahead of kickoff, we caught up with Reid Calder, who chatted with both coaches, starting with Kevin Lindo of Harbourside.
I'm sitting here with the head coach of Unity FC, Mike Sharon. Mike, based off your season last year, what is the expectation to come out of the gate?
Well, yeah, last year we started really slow, and I think this year we have to come out, get a few results at the beginning. We kind of built towards the end, and I think if we would have had a few more results at the beginning, we probably would have been more in the playoff hunt than we were, and probably would have finished higher in the table. So a start today is massive. Unfortunately, we get the pleasure of starting off in the first game again for League One BC of a team. We did that last year with TSS, and we get Harbourside today, so we'll see what happens.
Amazing. And based on some of your current roster additions, how excited are you about that?
Oh, I'm excited about our group this year. Obviously, we brought back a number of the players that we had last year, but then we added a couple really key players. Victor Shambusho, who will run as our number 9 up front. Big goal scorer, had a tremendous career at UBC and with varsity last season. And then Nick Fussell, who will kind of sit as an attacking midfielder. Another great player, played at UBC as well, had an amazing career. Both guys that I've admired from afar, so happy to have them in my squad this year. And we have, we have a good, solid group, and excited to see what we can do on the field.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Coach, for your time, and good luck on the field today.
Thank you very much.
And we apologize for not getting Kevin Lindo. He's in the thick of it right now, as you can imagine. This has been an absolutely extraordinary day for the league in terms of attendance. There will be 1,000 people have come through the turnstiles here at Kaikanishtuk Stadium as Harbourside FC on their maiden voyage. Fine-looking kit too, it has to be said, but a huge crowd. I'm reluctant to share the score of the earlier game because I don't want to be a spoiler. It will be on demand on the League One BC YouTube channel. It's so hot over there, in fact, a lot of people abandoned the bleachers you see in the background because they get hot as well. Also makes for a dry pitch here, and that might affect Mike Sheeran's group a little bit more than the team from Harbourside, who you see are lined up in the all-blue strip, dark at the top, light at the bottom, Unity all in white, and it'll be Unity to kick off right to left on your screen with their newest signing, and what a signing it is. Victory Shambusho. The man in the middle is Ben Clark, the referee from Victoria. His assistants are Nathan Bird and Garrett Watson. Sorry, Nathan Bird is the fourth official. Ross Cameron is on the far side. And it's an early ball into the area and a decent header on. And Harbourside peppering the goal early, but a good clearance away, as it'll be Adam Hajeki and Mario Banovic playing as center backs for Mike Sheeran, who has quite a bit of his squad back and a couple of big new additions. He mentioned Nick Fussell, the former varsity, now become Notsamot central midfielder, and they're benefiting greatly by the fact that he just didn't want to commute as much as being a Surrey boy. As Sebastian Coline has his first touch of the match, and he bowls it out to his right, Devin Chesko. Coline had an excellent season last year for Unity, and they will certainly have learned a lot from their opening. Mike Sheeran made the comment about how they got off to a tough start and had to play at TSS. Did get a draw in that game, but went down to 10 men after Cedric Vitage, Sid they call him, removed his jersey. Well, at least he didn't think he did, as now Unity pinches in midfield. And that's good movement from Francis Powell, the central midfielder. And another player to watch in this match, number 11, playing on the right wing, Kishan Francois. And the coach, Mike Sheeran, did say that of all the players in League One who is a wild card for being one of the standout performers, Francois has all the skills and all the abilities. Now can he put together as the inverted right winger that he's playing right now? Lots of possession early for the visitors as well. Torreson's playing very high as a left back, and that's a decent looking ball in the direction of Shambusho. Can he keep it in? He can. And now can he get it to Rahid Rahim, who's wearing the captain's armband, the number 10? Harbourside take over, and that's Tidy in the clearance. There is a wind that's pushing quite heavily from right to left on your screen. So the balls coming out of the Harbourside back line tend to die a little bit. And it also tends to run as Unity tries to play forward. There's Hussein Bahari. They call him Suka here. He played for the Highlanders last year, and this is a good-looking charge as Ambrose Tinmouth to the edge of the penalty area. Good sliding tackle away. And Harbourside will retrieve, and now a throw in deep 3 minutes into the game. Beautiful day in the Harbour City, 19 degrees. We are, of course, near the Harbour side, and that's why visiting teams will often have to contend with the wind, and I can't say enough about how great a job they've done here. Jason Coates, Mike Wasserman and company should all be congratulated as that header just flicks away from goal. And there's the first touch from Callum Weir, and you can see how the ball just dies around midfield. Torreson. Torreson will take the throw. He played in a number of positions last year. We saw him as a center back, as a holding midfielder, but as a second-round draft pick of Pacific FC in the winter, James Merriman, their coach, saw him as a left back, and so Mike Sheeran is playing him there as the ball was played into touch. Line. Torreson, still 19 years of age, the North Vancouver boy. Fussell. And then Hajeki plays it across the back to his equally tall center back partner, Mario Banovic, a 23-year-old from Burnaby. Sixth minute. Shambusho trying to get free, and that ball just bounced away, and that's good shielding off by what is also a very tall center backing duo. Fergus Hall wearing number 14. He's a Campbell River boy, and we mentioned off the opening how Kevin Lindo really wanted to have an island identity, a mid-island identity, and Fergus Hall is one of many mid-islanders here. When Kevin Lindo was coaching in the Campbell River youth system, he actually had Fergus as one of his players, but there's a couple of others as well. Long ball drifted into Unity territory, and away it goes from Banovic. Bahari is tricky. Suka, they call him. That one's just a little bit too long. But he had some effective moments with the Highlanders last year. He's from this area. Born in Egypt, in Cairo. Does a lot of coaching, though, does Suka. So he's become quite a mainstay in this area. Did have some time with Vancouver Island University, which is just behind us, in what is becoming a really amazing little sports complex. There's a track and field facility behind us, a baseball stadium. And very soon there's going to be additional seating here. In fact, the city of Nanaimo has just announced that they are going to expand by 800 seats on the side just below you. So there'll be 800 additional bleachers for next season. And I think you just have to look at the crowd here today and the interest that Harbourside has garnered to understand that that's probably a pretty good move. Unity very happy in possession right now. Normally playing at Chase Office Field, which is a beautiful surface in Langley on the campuses of Trinity Western University. And in the evening and of course during most of the collegiate season, it's a gorgeous pitch that really is fast. Nice little header back to goalkeeper Callum Weir, who is born in Tofino. You talk about mid-island representation, but was raised in Haines Junction in the Yukon, a national team futsal player. So tidy on the ball, and this is the situation here that he loves to be in, just to keep the ball ticking over. Very technical goalkeeper, being pushed by his backup as well, who is also rather tidy on the ball, Marco Illich. Harbourside now threatening from their left-hand side, and that's well dealt with. Francois coming back to help out and link up. And then Jordan McKinty. Beg your pardon, Devin Chesko sends it into midfield. And There's Francois, or make that Shambusho, who's breaking away. That's a good ball to pick out his teammate, and a very good tackle away. And out comes Harbourside. And that's a tough giveaway, as Dadami was looking threatening just before then, but here's Rahid Rahim, and he just drifted that one left-footed. Ten minutes played, relatively even, and definitely Unity shading it in that transitional moment just there, as it looked like Alex Dadami, the Gabriola Island. They talk about the players from the mid-island. Gabriola Island is just across the strait here, a short ferry ride from the Nanaimo harbor, but lots of island representation. One of the, they call him daddies on the team, just played the ball across, and that's Matt Marassa, who's 37 years of age, and he is the skipper. He plays Fergus Hall in. And then another rather towering defender. You know, they've got a big group here, and Reese Farragher as well as playing the 6 role. But Marassa has played with virtually every Nanaimo United team in the last 10 years that's been successful. He's even a teammate of Coach Kevin Lindos. And so it's his character that they've brought in, playing in the middle of the back. Leadership, talker, and certainly fit as a fiddle for a 37-year-old still playing at this level. And they wanted some balance between experience and some of the younger players in the squad. Marassa on the ball now, wearing an odd number 9 as a center back. Chitani, the Calgary boy. Hall tried to pick out the target, who is Taylor Arbor, another Campbell River player, but a good target man to have, number 20 in blue. As now Harbourside battling down the left flank. Suka wide, decent ball, a little overcooked, and then the header goes wide, but it was a good run forward and a good move. McKinty on the overlap, trying to join in at the back post. Not a bad effort. And the first real threat from Harbourside, but that ball did kind of drift a little bit, and I don't think McKinty was going to really get the connection he needed the way it was coming across. Banovich, a graduate of the Mountain United BCSPL team. Did have some injury issues. They wanted him to be part of the group last year, the central defender, but injuries prevented him from joining. That's good pick out and a good turn away as well. Victory Shambusho is going to try to get on his bike there, but it's just going to drift away, and there's the wind pushing the ball along. But Victory Shambusho on your screen there, what a story. You might have heard it already, but at 9 years of age had to defect from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the family had to walk to Uganda, basically. And that's where they were refugees for quite some time. A church in Chilliwack said they'd sponsor him and his family, and sure enough, he ended up getting into football at Chilliwack FC. And the rest, as they say, is history. He really needs to have a season, though, where he is free of injury, because that has been a challenge for him, especially untimely injuries. He did train with Pacific FC, and again, the injury bug hit. So a fine young man and a great story, and one we will have to watch, because he's been so close to so many opportunities. Now he needs to stay fit. Just a little too much arm shown there from Nick Fussell, who was a thorn in the side of Mike Sheeran for most of his university career, and last year as well, too, in League One, as varsity battled Unity. So to have him in the fold now was a big get. Mike Sheeran said he hadn't given the ball away yet during training this season. Marassa Suka. Good overlapping run. Can he get around the corner? That's a decent tackle. The ball will stay in play. Harbourside maintaining possession as we reach the quarter-hour mark. The League One BC featured match on TELUS Optic TV is presented by the Hall Group of Companies. Together we support League One BC, its players, coaches, referee, and communities. And this community has absolutely embraced League One, and the league knew it would. This was a very strong candidate city during expansion last year, but bringing it to life is a completely different matter. And again, the Harbourside group needs to be given a lot of credit, and especially for today. And they couldn't have asked for better weather, although there will be some sunburns today to match all the sandals and shorts that we've seen maybe for the first time. It's felt like a very cold and long winter in British Columbia. A little through ball there, but that's too heavy. Simon Colline will play with his feet. The Langley boy, a local lad, budding entrepreneur as well. Hajdeki. And Unity trying to control the game here and dictate the terms, which is what Kevin Lindo wanted from his group, and they've now won it back in midfield through Reese Farragher. He's a Whitehorse Yukon resident. Played for the Yukon futsal team just recently during the national championships in Calgary, as Harbourside earn a free kick in a decent looking area here. And they'll get some big bodies forward. They have no shortage of targets, so this might be the way home now. And it will be Suka who presides over this. Now, can he pick a target with the wind kind of blowing into his face? So it's going to hold up a little bit. Colline comes out, didn't get there. But Unity will retrieve as Thomas Powell, the 21-year-old from Coquitlam, the Powell brothers, he and Francis, both in this squad, and they're expecting big things. And that's a ball over the top, and Rahid Rahim is brought down. He was the last man. That could be a sending off. It is. And the captain has been sent off in minute 17. It happened right in front of us. There can be no complaints. It was a terrific ball over the top, and you have to also credit Rahid Rahim. He saw the moment. He got in behind, and Ben Clark from Victoria had no option but to send off Harbourside's captain, and that is a huge blow for the home side. We've only played 17 minutes. They're going to have to go the distance here with a man short, and unfortunately, you cannot argue at all. Rahim was in behind, and he was pulled back, there's no doubt. And that's perhaps where the 37-year-old legs let him down just that bit. And again, credit to Rahid Rahim. He just had a step. And so that is a pivotal moment in this match, and that has some activity on the Harbourside technical area with men warming up now, as they're going to have to try to refigure here on how to replace their captain and their center back. Well, that changes the complexion of this game entirely, but honestly, it literally happened right in front of us, and there can be no complaints about that decision, as much as the crowd is still grumbling. And now a set piece opportunity. This is about 27 or so yards away. Brandon Torreson is just camped out, as you see, to the left of your screen. I wonder if they may try to sneak a ball in here, because he is wide open with an extra man. 5-man wall. Will this be a direct attempt at goal? Rahim and Powell look the most likely, and I think the referee is actually going to allow the substitution to take place before this occurs, as Harbourside tries to retool a little bit here, and it'll be interesting to see who they sacrifice to try to fill in at center back. Now the referee will let play continue. Is it Rahim? It is, and it's straight into the wall. He gets it back, but Torreson just couldn't get there. Away it goes, as Jordan McKinty, a no-nonsense clearance. But now the dynamics change. Sometimes the 10 men, though, they can galvanize. We've seen that before. But so early in the game, boy, that's a challenge. at the moment, it looks like Reese Farragher has dropped back and will occupy center back with Fergus Hall. Square ball into a dangerous area, but Harbourside does come up with it. Nice little touch, but McKenty couldn't keep it in play. So a talking point. Not the one that Kevin Lindo wanted. Francis Powell. Torreson, Shimbusho, good combination, long ball, good ball into a dangerous area and maybe a chance to cut one back. It's into a really nice area of the box. Harbourside tidies up though and get it back through McKenty and then Fergus Hall. Farragher, and he did well to open up the ball for Jonathan McKenzie, and Harbourside is going to have to be really, really focused now and dialed in and make sure that every pass is to feet. They're going to have to try to keep possession as much as they possibly can, and they're doing that now. It was always going to be a difficult task for this side. It's a brand new team playing against an experienced group. And sometimes, you know, a home opener and a big crowd does drive the adrenaline, and, you know, it does give you that edge, but, you know, there is a lot of talent on this Unity roster. In fact, at the end of last year, they really surged. They had some fantastic late game heroics. And had there been a playoff format last year like there is this, well, they certainly would have been in that discussion. As it's over the top again, Victory Shimbusho chasing down Farragher, but it's back to the goalkeeper. McKenty, Hall, and you could see there is, you know, a real intent to concentrate on the ball now, but one back, nice ball, Shimbusho's onside and in the clear, and Shimbusho's denied. Fantastic save. Callum Weir just outweighted the poacher, but you would have banked on Victory Shimbusho to score there. He was clearly onside again. We're right in line with that decision. A lot of arms went up, but it was a terrific through ball. And Victory Shimbusho, hopefully we could see that again. He kept his cool for that moment, but credit Callum Weir. He outweighted the striker, and it was a big, big save. So another crucial moment in this first half. The 10 men of Harbourside escape there. Powell. And that's away, but only as far as Torreson, who lets it go. This is certainly a player to watch on the ball right now, because a lot of potential, a lot of teams were interested, and because of his age and because of his versatility, being able to play in so many different positions, you do wonder if he will get a look in at Pacific the same way Eric Lajeunesse has. And Eric Lajeunesse made an appearance in the Canadian Championship match with Cavalry. Pacific winning that game and will take on TSS Rovers in what is an incredible all-BC affair. As away goes Harbourside now with Taylor Arbor, but rather isolated and disconnected there from Alex Dadami. And he looked over to his teammate and said, "Where were you? I'm all by myself up here." So Torreson will certainly be watching Lajeunesse. Again, a leather ball drifted in the direction of Shimbusho, but Cal Weir off his line, the 19-year-old. McKenty does well. And Tyson Chitani has sort of dropped a little deeper now and looks like he's playing in a holding midfield role with the dismissal of the captain, Maraza. It just went to the goalkeeper there, as we heard over 1,000 fans here today for the launch of Harbourside. That is a league record for a regular season crowd. There was 1,600 at Swangard for the League One BC Finals, which was a cumulative crowd of over 2 finals. So there were a lot of people coming and going in that one, but 1,000 plus have passed through the gates here. That is absolutely phenomenal, and now sets the standard. And now stray ball in midfield and perhaps a chance, and Unity got away with that one a little bit, as they had broken away through Alex Dadami, the Gabriola Islander, who has traveled around pretty much anywhere he can looking for opportunities. Shambusho running the channels and just got a little nudge on Farragher. 25 minutes in, and a little stretch out for the number 6. His coach absolutely loves this player and says you will not miss him. He's got a mullet and he likes to wear plaid, and he's from the Yukon. And in fact, that's what Kevin Lindo was looking for with this team, a team of players who were willing to do the hard work, no nonsense, and that is reflective of the community they're playing in, that's for sure. This is a hard-working town that's actually growing in leaps and bounds. As away goes Tommy Powell down the near side. He's cutting in, has a go, and that's straight into the goalkeeper's midriff. 0-0 is a good score line for Harbourside under the circumstances. A man sent off, their captain, and then a huge moment with Victory Shambusho, eyeball to eyeball and in the clear with the goalkeeper, who just waited it out. And I think Shambusho was trying to maybe chip it over him, but just did not manage to. And here comes Unity again. That ball given away, and McKinty now. Farragher. That's one back, and Tommy Powell on it once again. Good through ball, maybe a chance here. Nice cutback, Shambusho with a barge, good save again. No foul on Shambusho, who just barged his way in, and he's been denied twice now by Callum Weir. 2 good chances for the Unity forward, and twice the Harbourside goalkeeper has been the better and the bested of the two. I don't think that Shambusho is going to miss a third opportunity. Let's just see if he gets one. He's asking for it now, is Torreson. Dispossessed. That's good work. Dadami playing well back now. And all of a sudden, Kishan Francois has switched sides, so I wonder if they've just inverted their players for a moment. Francois from White Rock initially did have some time with the Whitecaps residency. Was a Coastal FC graduate during his BCSPL years. Now he's headed back over to a more central position, so he's central at the moment with Shambusho. Rahim's on the right-hand side. Along the deck it goes. Oh, and Shambusho took it away from Francois, who I think gave his teammate a little bit of stick there as it's played over the top. Decky. Powell. Banovich. Nice little flick again, looking for that cheeky ball through to Shambusho. And at the moment, Farragher is holding his arm, and he looks like he's in some kind of discomfort. The player who was playing as a holder, as another through ball, Rahim could try to get there and just could not latch onto the end of it. But Unity is threatening more and more now, aren't they? 29 minutes played. The 10 men of Harbourside, 0. Unity, 0. But moments for sure. 2 very good ones for Victory Shambusho. Good flick there by Arbor, but he's a very isolated figure right now up front, isn't he? And he's going to have to hold the ball up. I don't know if the ball through the air is going to necessarily work any wonders for Harbourside. Francis Powell, make that Tommy Powell driving through. The referee got a little touch, and Mr. Clark will award the ball to Unity. Now, Torreson, you could see, is playing very, very high up the park right now as a left back. And he can with the extra man. And as you can see, the number 6, Reese Farragher, has actually taken a knee for the moment and is going to receive some treatment. I'm not sure what happened, but he was holding his arm just a moment ago, and I think he got into a collision with Shambusho on that second chance. And you just hope that he hasn't, well, either bruised something or, we see this quite often too, getting a little bit of a break. The referee's asking them to go off the field. But a chance for Harbourside to get some water, and it has been very warm all day. And you can see they're getting some liquids into them, having a little discussion about how to play this now, since their captain, Matt Maraza, was sent off. So this little break certainly did not hurt Harbourside. Underway again with Raheem, the man who actually drew the red card as he was breaking beyond the last man, Marasa. Banovic. Chesko. Another neat little touch through, but Harbourside have swept those away rather easily. You just wonder if one of them is going to finally latch on to Shambusho or Francois. That ball's cut out, and a name we haven't mentioned a whole lot, Ambrose Tinmouth, who's a Comox boy, the 18-year-old. He'll try to keep possession here, picks out Bahari, Suka. And there's a foul, and that's a reprieve for Harbourside. And again, this may be the way home if they want to get something out of this match. A set-piece opportunity in Unity territory, a lot of big men, as Farragher does head to the penalty area, the big number 6. Arbor will of course be in and amongst it, and Fergus Hall is ambling forward as well. So can they find perhaps that ball in behind this very high line from Unity? Is this a way home? Can Harbourside create some history in the first half? It's a decent ball, and Coline does very well to snatch it at its highest. And the Unity goalkeeper settles things down. Brother of Simon, of course, who has seen a very good career arc. And there's the ball over the top again, and it's going to grip to the ground. A good header back, and Harbourside dealt with that, but you just wonder how many chances Victory Shambusho is going to miss in this game. I just don't think that he's going to the next time he gets one. He has been too good in those positions throughout his life. Torreson has lots of room to operate in. Francis Powell. Chesko's wide now. Shambusho drops. Unity just squeezing ever so slightly forward, trying to peg Harbourside back, and Tommy Powell lost it for the moment, but Unity will maintain possession. Long ball over the top, and just a little too tall for Shambusho. Harbourside will breathe again. 34 minutes played. Just over 10 minutes until halftime. 0-0 at the break would be, I think, a very acceptable scoreline for the home side under the circumstances. Ooh, that's a poor giveaway. And is it going to be punished? It's off the line. No, it's in. And that was a catastrophic mistake at the back. We talked about the need to concentrate in these situations, and that was self-inflicted harm. No mistake in the end. And in minute 35, Harbourside 0, Unity 1. Nick Fussell just waited and waited, and this time waited long enough. And that was so unfortunate. It's just played across, and yeah. It actually looked like Fergus was going to get on the end of it, but just didn't get enough of it. And now the task got even more difficult for Harbourside. Already down a man, now down a goal. Good turn by Tinmouth. And a good ball in behind, but Coline read that beautifully. Francois, good touch. Can he get around? Out comes the goalkeeper again. And you can't fault Callum Weir for his first half exploits, but he will have been mortified by that ball played back across his penalty area that was pinched. And it's the opening goal, and that's not what they wanted in terms of the historical records here. They wanted to score that first goal at home on their maiden voyage. Suka again, down the left flank. Can he conjure something? Nice little back heel. Across it goes, and will this be a corner? That's going to stay in as Banovic clears. And if you're Kevin Lindo, what do? Look out, here comes Victory Shambusho. He's got Francois to his right, who has to stay onside. He's got Tommy Powell to his left. Great ball cut across. Francois, and it's off the line. Very nearly 2-0. And that's the danger. You're trying to chase a goal now if you're the men in blue to try to get back into it. And we're nearly opened up in a 3v2 situation. And that's a good steal by Bahari, and he's passed. Here comes Bahari breaking on goal. A terrific move. It's the first goal in Harbourside history. Can you believe it? A massive chance at one end, and Suka buries it at the other. And in minute 37, Harbourside gets its first goal in history. Harbourside 1, Unity 1. Incredible. Two outstanding moves by the Egyptian, who absolutely left two in his wake, and then he just kept his composure and slotted home. What an eventful first half we've had here. A sending off, a 1-0 goal, two great saves, a big chance cleared off the line, and now an equalizer. Well, let's hope that 20 years from now, people will be still talking about that goal in an historical context, as the Harbourside ship has truly sailed now with its christening of a goal. And I'm sure Unity will be very annoyed with that. Mike Sheeran will not be happy with the defending, and also the chances that were squandered leading up to that. Good header away. And no nonsense clearance. Well, the crowd certainly enjoyed that. 1,000 people here. And that came completely against the run of play and against the circumstances. And it was just a good run by a player who has League One BC experience, a local favorite guy, you know, and he absolutely did not make a mistake once he got into that critical area. Chitani spins away. McKenzie, up the line it goes, and he'll win himself a throw-in. And now the goal will be to be extremely tidy. As we look again, he beat two, beat the goalkeeper. That was brilliant. And remember that one. That one goes into the archives. And the fans applaud the announcement here. Rahim. Francois slips it through. Powell. Left-footed effort. Oh, off the top of the bar. Not a bad effort at all by Tommy Powell. And it took a deflection on the way, and that deflection turned out to be crucial. Off a leg and off the top of the crossbar. And we have a corner here in minute number 40. And Unity would absolutely love to regain their lead as we're into those critical final 5 minutes of a first half that has been so eventful. We hope you've enjoyed it so far. Our first ever League One BC featured match here on TELUS Optic TV and YouTube. It'll be archived on YouTube. Francois, left-footed spinned in delivery. It's bouncing around all over the place. A little stab by Torreson and cleared away. Danger not over. Francis Powell steps up and he uncorked one as well. Well, we saw Hussein Bahari, they call him Suka here. Last year, he played for the Victoria Highlanders. There's the deflection that just did enough. Otherwise, that might have been a cracking goal. Last year, Bahari played for the Victoria Highlanders, and at halftime, we'll have a feature of a couple of Highlanders of note. Steve Simonson, who was the CIAU Coach of the Year, and a forward who has struggled quite mightily over the last few years with anxiety, almost to the point of not being able to play. But he was also one of the league's most prolific men in front of goal last year, Michael Henman. It's a fantastic story. Stick around at halftime. We'll have that for you. The Highlanders will be one of our featured matches a little bit later on the season, and they will actually on July 2nd host Harbourside in the All-Island Derby. That'll be a featured match later this summer. Torreson. Powell. Can Unity conjure something up in the late stages and restore the lead that really did look to be solid for, well, a short while anyway before the equalizer? A little ball across for Thomas Powell, who skimmed the crossbar moments ago. Cutting in, which Mike Sheeran's asked him to do, carries on. Slipped back to Powell. Can he stand this one up? It's still in play, and it took a deflection. Corner from the near side. Powell will be on set-piece duty here. The wind is pushing into Callum Weir's goals. That's something that they're going to have to look out for. And you see the very, very tall presence of Adam Hajeki right in front of the goalkeeper, causing all sorts of problems. It's a decent ball. It's fists in the air. The ball stays in the field of play. Powell will settle for the throw-in. Panovich. Long switch, and Weir's going to elect to keep that in play. He could tick the time down a little bit here. McKenzie, a Nanaimo boy, 31 years of age. And here goes the goal scorer again, gathering steam, Suka. Chitani switches play. That's easily cut out. Raheem into midfield. Hall keeps it forward. Harbour's having a tough time keeping a hold of the ball up front right now. And he's going to have to. Every chance he gets back to goal, he's got to try to fight off those two center backs, keep possession, keep Harbourside in possession. The 10 men of Harbourside who equalized incredibly. Fergus Hall coming out of the back. To feet now. Dadami. McKinty. Hall, and that's just going to stay in play as McKinty anticipated the run. Can he get around the corner on Torreson? He can't, but they've won a corner. And so Harbourside will have a chance late here to maybe get a chance at a stunning lead. Ambrose Tinmouth, the 18-year-old who spent some time with the Guelph Griffins in U Sports. He's going to whip this one in left-footed, and the ball is pushing away from that goal as he spins it in. It's a decent ball, and it's headed backwards and over the top. Actually, that was a Harbourside player who got on the end of it. That was probably a better chance than Unity will have liked. He got a clear look at goal. Francois does well to keep possession. Powell cutting in, asks for it. Francois is able to just roll it back to Francis Powell. Out wide it goes. Chesko. Shambusho. Fighting away is Shambusho, and he wins a corner. And this could be the last action of the first half. We've gone into the 45th minutes, 2 minutes of added time, as indicated by Nathan Bird.
2 minutes added on.
Into those 2 added minutes now. Torreson goes long looking for Rahim. He had the wind helping that throw out a little bit. McKinty, that's stolen away. Torreson again. On his bike, Torreson into the penalty area. That pops loose, and a good turn away by Tinmouth. The goal scorer, Suka. Arbor lost that duel. Torreson looking over the top. Shambusho's in behind. First touch was decent. Can he get the second one? And into the breadbasket again of Callum Weir. Now, you see his pace, Shambusho, and how he can get on the wrong side of defenders and cause all sorts of problems. And he has certainly had a hand in some of the bigger moments of this first half, but has not managed to convert just yet. Big tackle by Arbor there, kept the ball in possession. And this is exactly what Harbourside need to do here. Just see out this half, get to the team talk and the dressing room, figure out how they're going to approach the second with 10 men, see if they can get that man on the ball more. That's a decent ball into space, and the flag does go up for offside. Chesko. Francois straight to the goalkeeper. The referee blows for halftime. Well, what an eventful half that was. Harbourside reduced to 10 men with the sending off of Matt Maraza with a straight red card as he just could not get on the right side of Rahid Rahim. Victory Shambusho was eyeball to eyeball with Callum Weir, the Harbourside goalkeeper, who denied him twice. Unity did take the lead through a catastrophic moment that was self-inflicted by the home side, only for Suka, Hussein Bahari, who broke down the left and tucked home the equalizer. And at the half, it's Harbourside 0 and Unity 0. You're watching the TELUS Optic TV featured match here on League One BC, and there is the equalizer, and that has us going to halftime all square.
League One BC is a critical new level of play that supports soccer's infrastructure in the province. The Hall Group was built on infrastructure projects in British Columbia. This premier partnership between 2 built-in BC groups promotes the highest standards for people and their growth, while building communities in our province both on the field and in the field. Hall, together we rise as one.
I'm staying here with number 7 from Harbourside FC, Hussein Bahiri. Hussein, to score the goal and level up the game with a man down, walk us through your thoughts on that one.
I mean, it's very enjoyable. We have a lot of people watching in the community, and we went a man down. And I feel like it's just a good reaction from us as a team. You know, we're pushing to, counter press when we lose the ball, and press when the defender takes a bad touch or any little traps that we could trap them in and stuff. But yeah, it's just great. It feels great.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, congratulations on the first half performance and all the best luck in the second.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
League One BC was built to support soccer communities around the province. Building communities and infrastructure is at the core of what the Hall Group does in BC. Together, Hall and League One are changing the landscape both on the field of play and in the field. Hall, together we rise as one.
Okay, everybody, let's have a great show. Look out, Karen Masson. Got it.
There from full pickup, who will pass it there to Jesse King, who scores again!
At West Shore Motorsports Park.
Crossing the box for Parmar, and she's done it!
Like thousands of kids across the province, Michael Henman spent his youth on the soccer pitch, falling in love with the beautiful game.
I first met him probably when he was, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And he was, your average kid that age, just loved the game. And, you couldn't take a ball off his feet and had a smile on his face all the time.
It's kind of all I know. Most of my life is prioritized around soccer. So it's something I enjoy doing, and why not try to have a career around something like that?
But by the time he reached high school in the Victoria Highlanders U21 program, an emerging battle with anxiety began to impact his game.
For a while, I was pretty scared to play soccer, which is weird, having it be something that if I have a lot of schoolwork or girl issues, I use soccer to kind of get away from that, and it's just it turned into something I was scared of. So my life kind of turned upside down for a bit.
He was injured from training or injured from games. It didn't sort of make sense. It was like he was never sort of healthy all the time. And then one day he came up and just sort of opened up, came to me and said what he was feeling. And it was, he admitted that he had some real anxiety problems around playing the game.
So I had to step away from soccer for around 2 or 3 years. So I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't really leaving the house. I wasn't going to school. Steve was a huge part in that. I stayed in contact with Steve throughout that whole period. I would always text him and say, hey, one day I'm going to come up to UNBC, and then, and he stayed in contact with me, and eventually I got the courage, and working with therapists and my family, and I finally was able to go up there and play soccer there.
A return to the game that reached new levels last season when Henman paced the country with 19 goals. earning top conference honors.
The native of Victoria notches #1 on the season as his teammates celebrate.
You've been chosen as this year's Canada West Male Soccer Player of the Year. Congratulations, buddy!
It definitely wasn't a switch that was like, oh, I'm fine now, because I believe to this day, like it's the type of thing that doesn't leave you, right? He manages very well, and what I'm really proud of him is he asked for help, and he's not ashamed of who he is, and the people around him have embraced who he is, and that's really allowed him to sort of rise to back to where we knew his true potential laid in sport.
Obviously, it's fun scoring goals and being able to do my job, which is scoring goals. But at the end of the day, I was really happy with my team, and I was more happy with with my coach Steve getting named U Sports Coach of the Year, which was pretty cool.
And while his mental health journey is far from over, Henman says he finally feels back at home in League One with Highlanders FC.
I've just kind of been trying to keep going up and up, and obviously days are tough sometimes, and it's hard to get out of bed sometimes, but it's all worth it at the end because these guys are pretty great. We've got a pretty great group of guys.
Really proud of him, for sure, and I think more so really proud not just of his teammates, but he's told me of the stories of people on opposing teams that have reached out to him and spoken to him, and I think it's opening sort of some doors to discuss some serious topics in sport, and I think that's very important. But his true potential as a person's coming out full force now with how he's an advocate for mental health.
It was a long journey, but it's something that I will cherish because it's made me who I am.
League One BC is a critical new level of play that supports soccer's infrastructure in the province. The Hall Group was built on infrastructure projects in British Columbia. This premier partnership between two built-in BC groups promotes the highest standards for people and their growth, while building communities in our province both on the field and in the field. Hull. Together, we rise as one.
Kinishtuk Stadium in Nanaimo, British Columbia. Lovely evening as the sun descends in behind us here, and Unity, who had the lead in that first half and had a numerical advantage. Really curious to know what Mike Sheeran would have been talking about during that halftime team talk. Whereas Harbourside, I think, will be over the moon with the circumstances they're in right now. They have a point in their first ever match as we welcome you back to the League One BC featured match on TELUS Optic TV presented by the Hall Group of Companies. Together we support League One BC's 3 pillars of community, opportunity, and standards. And we should also tell you, and I should have told you off the top, that we're very grateful to be gathering in the spirit of sport on the traditional and unceded territory of the Shusnamenis people. And what a beautiful day it has turned out for everybody here with 1,000 in attendance. Just scanning the lineups right now to see if there are any changes. I don't see anything off the top, but there will definitely be some movement, I think, for both teams, certainly. In fact, I just saw Taylor Arbor take off his shirt, and I'm just wondering if he might be the one substitution here to start the second half. We'll try to get confirmation as soon as possible, but that man, Callum Weir, has been a central figure in this match, as he has had to make 2 or 3 big saves. He got some help from defenders as well with goal line clearances. Unfortunately, the goal came as a result of a really poor square ball that wasn't cleared off the line. As close as Fergus Hall came to it, he was not able to clear it away. Referee Ben Clark from Victoria, ready to get us underway here in the second half. Well, last year, Unity had such a tough run of games to start the season, and they didn't cash in on the chances that they had. And I know that many of these players, because they have so many returning players, will have remembered that and will try to get something out of this game, and a victory would really get them off on the right foot here. Different playoff format this year, of course, with the top 4 teams making it in 2 semifinals, and Unity has firm plans of being a part of that equation. Unity in the light-colored strip. They'll be kicking from left to right. Nanaimo now defending that goal to your right. Harbourside FC. And off we go. Right now, Alex Dadami looks like he is playing up front. So there was one change here. We're just trying to find out who it was. And hopefully we'll get that confirmation for you. Working out the kinks in week 1. Several other games on the docket as well today, including a bit of a barn burner at Swangard, you'd have to say. Notsamot FC, the reborn club that came in the wake of varsity last year. As away goes Thomas Powell right from the beginning, a great run, but he was snuffed out at the end. Francois. Banovic, and Rahid Rahim has found himself in a right back's role at the moment, but now he heads back into midfield. And I know Mike Sheeran would have probably suggested that shifting Harbourside from side to side would be really important this game. Keep them moving, keep them unbalanced, keep them running and chasing, as that extra man should probably start to wear them down a little bit, that extra void that needs to be filled on the park. Compelling story, though, in the second half. And that's a decent run, too. And that's our second half substitute, Noah Bilodeau, who's just come on. So Bilodeau replaces Taylor Arbor, the 20-year-old from Edmonton, and you just got a pretty good example of his pace as he replaces the big target man up front. And that's the only change that we have. And there he is, hooks it into a decent looking area, but that's away from Chesko. Farragher. That's a good run too. Oh, and a nice little touch here, and on the ground and forcing a save, and Ambrose Tinmouth, the 18-year-old from Comox, weaving his way forward and getting actually a pretty good look at goal there. Simon Coline not overly fussed, but again, I don't think the Unity backline will be very happy with the ability to be able to run through like that. Raheem. Torreson. Francis Powell. Tommy Powell drops off to collect this one and picks out Torreson. Let's see if he'll go for a run here. Skins the ball across. It took a deflection. Unity will get a 49th minute corner here. And the wind has just died down a little bit, it feels like, on the field. The flags are still flapping away, but the women's game earlier was really challenging for a while as the ball was being held up and being pushed on. And that's going to be a common theme here by the Harbourside. And here comes the corner, an in-swinging effort. And that's uncontested clearance into midfield. And that's a had ball. Oh, well, no, they've given it to Unity. It looked like Tommy Powell actually landed on the ball with his arm, and initially I thought the referee was going to give that as the free kick, but this is now a really tantalizing position for Unity. This looks like a shooting position. And they had one of these in the first half that went straight into the wall. Can they craft something of a little bit more quality here with Powell and Keyshawn Francois standing off of it? And it's a decent sized wall. So this is 25 yards away. So no problem getting this up and down here. Who's going to take responsibility here? Will it be Tommy Powell? Francois standing off of it. Torreson's there. It's Tommy Powell, and it's into the goalkeeper again. Well, a shot on target nonetheless, but no problems for Weir. Harbourside pushing. Little push in the back there, not called, and now it is. So Harbourside can set up, and again, they're going to take their time on these, you think, and really carefully consider what the options are. They are in no rush. They have a point in their back pocket, and at the moment, that would be a good result. Obviously, they'd love to win this game, but they have to also be very conscious of the counterattack with one less player. And there are plenty of targets to look at right now. Curled in, and away it goes from Francis Powell. Suka is there, the goal scorer. He's been lively, he has been threatening, and he has the decisive goal at the moment, the 1-1 goal. Good header away. Tommy Powell wanted a foul there, but Harbourside get it back again. And in a good area. That just ran away a little bit, and the foul is called against Jordan McKinty, and I think that he feels a little aggrieved by that, and in fact he's going into the book here. So that's the first caution for either side. We just had the straight red to Matt Marassa early, but there's the first booking of the match, and that one stung by the looks of it as Nick Fussell gets up slowly. We haven't said Nick Fussell's name probably as much as Mike Sheeran will have wanted. An influential player, he's up and okay. Certainly pretty strong figure in the middle of the park. And geez, you know, boy, that's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I think if you're McKinty, you might be wondering about that one. as here comes Raheem. Hajdeki. That's played into the space for Raheem. Will it hold up? Again, the wind, if there is any, is pushing from right to left on your screen. So maybe that's an advantage to Unity to have that ball hold up a little bit as they try to push it through. Chesko is going to take this one. Shambusha with a little header, and it was on target. And that's gunned out quickly to the second half substitute, Bilodeau. And you could see he does have some acceleration, and Unity's going to have to be careful there because both times he's broken down that right-hand flank. It's been challenging for them. Francois. Francis Powell. Torreson. Good early ball. Shambusho in a good area. Tried to cut it back. Appeals for handball. Half-hearted. Kept alive by Tommy Powell now driving. Tommy trying to get to the end line before it's flicked across. Will that go out for a corner or a throw-in? That's going to go out, and it looked like Unity actually might have got the last touch, and they did. Francois will get this throw in as we reach the 54th, now 55th minute in a 1-1 draw. Kai Kanishtuk Stadium, 1,000 supporters through the gates today. That's a record for regular season attendance in League One BC. And Suka did well to play it into the middle of the park, but Tommy Powell won it back in a good area now. Can Unity transition? Powell is asking for support. That's a good ball, and it's a good chance at goal, and just ripped over the bar. Good chance for Unity to break there, and this is where Harbourside has to be so careful when they're caught in transition with one less man. They escaped that time. Their goalkeeper has been more than capable today. He's had a good performance, Callum Weir, who did train with Pacific FC, by the way, but did not stick with the CPL club, but has been rather important in this match today. A couple of saves off Victory Shambusho. That's stolen away by Raheem. Through ball. Shambusho's trying to break away. Victory Shambusho. That's a tremendous piece of defending. That looked dangerous, but the defender stayed stride for stride, and actually, well, it's not even a corner. That looked like it was off of a defender, but no, it's a goal kick for Harbourside. As they play out of the back. And again, the pace of Noah Bilodeau is being put to the test as he cuts in. He gets pushed over. The referee has a look at it. The crowd is asking for something, but just a goal kick. Yeah, the fans here not happy. They thought that was a blatant push. As Chesko. Powell. Torreson. Unity's going to have to be patient here if they want to break down the 10 men. It looks like as Shambusho's on the charge again. Gets to the outside beautifully, but the ball just crossed the byline. It will be a corner this time. Tommy Powell will head over to take. Can Tommy Powell pick out a target? Oh, no, there was a good look there, and off the bar from close range again. Well, there was chaos in the penalty area, and I'm not sure if it was Shambusho who got that final touch, but that was very close to 2-1 visitors as the ball just rattled around, and now there's a Harbourside player on the ground, and that will require some treatment here. By the way, Matthew Coburn has come on for, and that's the number 21 who made that great defensive play moments ago against Shambusho, and I'm not sure who he took off. So communication's been challenging here with substitutions and rosters in the opening game as the new Comet systems getting employed, and PA announcements. But there's Shambusho. Oh my goodness, he was 3 inches from giving Unity the lead there, and he shook his head afterwards. But Matthew Coburn is on now at central defense. He's number 21, and I'm not sure who he's taken off. I see Fergus Hall. I wonder if it's Jonathan McKenzie. No, McKenzie's still on there, so we'll look around and try to figure out what that substitution was. But we're not in a press box per se, so we're not getting that information handed to us. Here's Keyshawn Francois. Torreson on the move, and he'll get it right in front of his bench. Weaving his way through, taken down, and that's a free kick in a nice looking position. And the referee, I thought for a moment there, was reaching for his pocket, but just a foul. And there you could see Brandon Torreson's trickery on the ball. Good passer of the ball, excellent range of passing, getting chirped a little bit by his opponents there. Felt he might have gone down a little bit easy, but here is the opportunity for Tommy Powell again, and he's had a couple of these now. This is slightly better than a corner. We've reached the hour mark. Harbourside 1, Unity 1 on the League One BC featured match live on Telus Optic TV and YouTube. Can he find a target? It's whipped in, a little punch, it's loose, blocked. Ball rattling around again. Danger still not over. And Unity keeps it alive. That's a good ball by Francis Powell into the danger area. Shambusho tried to turn, but it hopped up off an arm. And a reprieve again for Harbourside. And now a substitution by the looks of it, and it's going to be a triple change for Mike Sheeran. And we did expect, and he anticipated that there would be a change here. Let's see what the changes are. And I wonder if Victory Shambusho will be swapped here. It looks like he's staying on for the moment. Lennon Thompson's on though, and he is a player that is, shared between Vancouver FC would not be the right comment, but there is an arrangement between the CPL club in the Fraser Valley and Unity, and so big Lennon Thompson on the park. And we'll try to get you the rest of the subs. And he's playing as a central midfielder, the 18-year-old from Surrey, who is a graduate of the Coastal BCSPL program. His dad, Niall, might sound familiar, as he was a member of the Whitecaps and had a very accomplished career in his own right. So 18-year-old Lennon Thompson now on. I didn't see the other 2 substitutions, so we'll track those as they go. Christian Rossi's on, so he was just on the ball there, so he is now on the park as well. And I think he might have replaced Keyshawn Francois. I think that's that second change. They call him CJ, Christian Rossi, the 20-year-old from Surrey. And that blast is high and wide as well, but Unity is coming on here in the second half now. James Cameron was another player that Mike Sheeran said he wanted to get into this game. And I'm just scanning. There he is. He is on the park now as well. The 18-year-old from North Vancouver, who is another inverted winger. And I wonder if he's replaced Francis Powell. No, Powell's still on there. We're figuring it out as we go. 62nd minute. Still level. Fussell heads down. Cameron winning the ball, and Harbourside winning a free kick. Our next featured match here on TELUS Optic TV will feature Rivers. Still a little unsure as to whether they'll be playing at Hillside Stadium on that day, as the winter has not been kind to MacArthur Park. And they're playing their season opener at Hillside against Altitude this weekend. But it will be Rivers hosting Notsamot in 2 weeks' time, Mother's Day weekend. And we'll have that for you from the interior. And beautiful Kamloops as the ball is drifted forward, a little too far for Torreson. Thompson. There is quite a battle in that midfield, and there will be some good competition for those midfield deeper lying roles. Rossi. And back to Lennon Thompson. Quite a bit of stature there for an 18-year-old. Torreson. Left-footed ball, and that's headed away nicely. Dadami getting it wide for Bilodeau. And Harbourside again will earn a free kick. So Bilodeau's had an impact since coming on, and his pace is causing problems. Suka. Harbourside arguing that he was pushed out there, but no foul. Well, Rahid Rahim has obviously come off because Banovic is now wearing the captain's armbag, so we know that it was Rahim that was replaced probably for Lennon Thompson. That's a nice looking through ball, and Rossi is away and off to the races, but the flag then comes up belatedly. And so again, Harbourside will get a reprieve here in minute 65. The temperature now is perfect. It's a beautiful evening in the Mid-Island. And you could tell by the roster that there was a lot of effort put in by Kevin Lindo to make sure there was a presence in the Mid-Island with the personnel. But this is a club that wants to represent the harbor cities from Ladysmith and Chemainus all the way up to Parksville, Qualicum, and even Tofino, Ucluelet, and Port Alberni, including Parksville and Qualicum above. It's a big region with great football all around in clubs in those areas, and they've gotten off to a pretty good start in terms of engagement, you'd have to say. Thompson, nice sweeping ball in the direction of Christian Rossi. 1v1 in the corner to the outside. Can he keep the ball in play? He can, and he'll win himself a corner. There was a substitution in the Harbourside colors just a moment ago as well. Didn't catch that one. In-swinging effort forthcoming here. And a foul called against Unity, as there was quite a tangle in the 6-yard box there, and two members of the home side in a heap. And that allows Harbourside just take a little bit more time off the clock. Again, playing with 10 men after an early dismissal for captain Matt Marassa, who was on the wrong side of Rahid Rahim, who's now since been substituted. Cal Weir to get us back in play. Kevin Lindo, by the way, we haven't spoken about him an awful lot, the Harbourside head coach, but he's from Middlesbrough. Well, actually just a little south of there. Stockton-on-Tees, but does have what sounds like a Geordie accent, but he's quite offended if you do offer that. And a very proud Middlesbrough fan, by the way, and what a year to be one. As away comes his team, Harbourside. That's a good ball around the outside. Is there a chance to get into the penalty area? As Dadani sends it across. Suka muscled off of it. That ball stays in play, but the home side will get it back. That first touch wasn't the best, but back it goes from Coburn. Lindo is going to celebrate 10 years on the island this coming summer. Met his wife in New Zealand, and she was from the Lower Mainland and then came to VIU to study. And they just absolutely loved the area. He's been involved with Nanaimo United as well as the university, and is now in charge of the League One BC team in these parts. As away goes Bahari again. He is very capable on the ball. Bahari pokes it through, nice give and go, just a little heavy. And Unity will get a throw. Into minute number 69, and a deadlock here, which certainly benefits the home side. But you just cannot count out Hussein Bahari, who still looks like he's got some gas left in the tank here, even with about 21 minutes or so to go. Powell. A little too long there. And out comes Weir. And that'll go into one of the 1,000 fans in attendance here. Banovich. Nice ball threaded through to Shambusho. Rossi. Thompson did well to keep Unity in possession there. You see Thompson likes to just drop in between or even behind the center backs and try to dictate the tempo. He's got an excellent range of passing. Thought about going long there with Torreson stationed along that left touch line. Tommy Powell will play it on a plate. Can Torreson get there? He certainly can. It's a good ball. Cut back, just cut out. But that was nice from Unity as they opened up Harbourside there for a moment. They just haven't been precise in the final third, Unity. They benefited from a real gift, a defensive error. And that's how they took the lead, but a fantastic run by Suka down the left flank, even with 10 men, to draw the leveler. Francis Powell. Thompson. Tommy Powell. Shakes off one, tries an effort from distance, and again it's a yard and a half over, not far, as Powell buries his head in his hands as he saw a sight of goal. Frankly, Harbourside will take those all day long, you'd have to think. And Callum Weir once more, not in any rush to try to get the ball back in play here in minute number 71, as they can slowly but surely see some spoils coming out of this game. A point would be huge considering how early they went down to 10 men. It was in the 17th minute, if memory serves. Coline, who really hasn't had a whole lot to do in this game. Coburn, and Suka just couldn't keep that in, but acknowledges the effort. And you know that Mike Sheeran, the Macedonia, Ohio native, will want faster tempo from his team, and he won't want that as it goes right into his bench. Top class gent, Mike Sheeran, whose mother, actually, you talk about 7 degrees of separation in the soccer world. His mother, as you see Mike with the hat on just behind the thrower, his mom was a huge fan of the Cleveland Force, the indoor team in the area, and in particular, a future Vancouver Whitecap, Carl Valentine. And so, one way or another, through a bunch of different coaching opportunities, Wheaton College, one of them, where he attended and coached, wound up in the Lower Mainland and would have bumped into Carl several times at BC Place, but a really excellent coach and even better human, and a guy who you could chat football with all day long, really. Harbourside again trying to tick the time off the clock here. Can they conjure up something too, which would be incredible? Charlie Purcell came on in one of the recent stoppages, the 22-year-old from Comox, and again, another tall player at 6'3" on the park. Shambusho tries to get on the end of that, but it's neatly back to the goalkeeper. Rossi. Powell. Francis Powell. Banovich. And then up steps Hajeki. Unity trying to unlock an opening, and Rossi is in behind. First time ball took a deflection. That'll be a corner, but those little moments are opening up for the visitors here, where they're able to move it side to side and then just play it between. And Rossi has actually brought a spark since coming on. And it's another defensive set piece moment here that Harbourside will have to be mindful of. And this time Brandon Torreson comes across to take. So this looks like a left-footed in-swinger. And can he cause some chaos with this ball, a driven ball, which it is. Back post, fists down, loose, not away, blocked again, still not cleared. And finally it was cleared into midfield. Nervy moments there, but now Harbourside come away. Can they break? And Hussein Bahari off to the races, but it just was played a little bit too heavily. And Coline gives it away, and this could be a chance now. Bahari again, down the left flank, to his left foot, still going, poked away, and it's a corner. Now that was Sebastian Coline's mistake there, as he just tried to be a little bit too fine with that out ball. How much will Harbourside commit to going forward? Well, there's Coburn in the penalty area. 6'3" Purcell also in there. They're all clustered at the edge of the 18-yard box. Are they going to go short? And there they go. Driven low, a little flick backwards. Appeals for handball as Shambusho did stick his arm out there, but got to the ball first. And that looks like a Harbourside throw. Not the greatest delivery in that time from Didami, who played it low and hard, and you know those can turn into counterattacks the other way. Harbourside has so many targets to aim for. I'm surprised they didn't go with a little more height on that one as we reach minute number 76. Bilodeau in a battle. That ball's going to run out of play. And those are the kind of unforced errors that Kevin Lindo will not be happy about. But he has to be pleased with how his team has responded to going down a man and going behind. And now can they hang on? Or can they, incredibly, find a winner? They win the ball in midfield, but not fairly, according to Mr. Clark. Another substitution now for Unity. And into the match comes big Jace Weeb. And Weeb will replace Nick Fussell. So Weeb, pretty easy to pick out. Big, tall, blonde lad now just at the edge of the box. Rossi. Harbourside squeezing up the park, trying to condense the field here. Unity going back out wide to Rossi. They've had some joy on this flank. Thompson. Through ball to Shambusho, back to goal. He's gone the distance here. There was some thought that perhaps he might actually make way, depending on how the score was going, but I think Mike Sheeran needs to keep him out there. He's had two brilliant chances. Will he get that third chance? Tommy Powell. That ball was cut out. Weeb turning. Slips it back out to Torreson. Torreson to the outside. Whipped in towards the back post. Danger not over. Rossi is there. Tommy Powell. Good move to get away from one. Tried to squeeze it through. It's Shambusho in behind. And that was blocked away. Good defending again. Danger not over. And that time, they ran themselves into trouble. And now it's Suka once again. Pokes it ahead neatly. Ooh, and that was almost given away. And Harbourside will knock it into touch as we check in with our sideline reporter, Reed Calder.
Thanks, Peter. I just spoke to the coaching staff of the Harbourside FC. The next 15 minutes or so, they're going to close out the game by shoring up the midfield, bringing on Charlie Purcell, number 16. So looking to tighten and manage the game through the midfield. Thanks, and back to you.
Thanks, Reed. A little break here as Bahari goes down, and again, no urgency to get on with it. And there needs to be more urgency from Unity now. They've had the man advantage, and they need to keep that advantage here. They need to force Harbourside side to side. They need to play with a little bit more urgency and get this ball moving a little bit more quickly. The turf is not helping. Of course, the sun's been on it all day, so it's gripping the ball. They want to ping it around, which they usually do at home, and that's a good little ball into the channel. And he ran it into touch. Another let off as James Cameron just couldn't keep possession there as we near the final 10 minutes, and another substitution on the Harbourside technical area. Dadami comes out. I didn't quite see who came in here. It looks like. Well, it looks like Juan Rubiano. And if it's Juan Rubiano, well, this is quite a story because he has been looking for this opportunity for quite some time. Colombian background, a refugee actually moved to the area. And Kevin Linda was very excited about this player. Can he offer a bit of a wild card near the end of the game? Bahari. Nice ball. Is there room at the back post? McKinty going after it. Coline was there. So Juan Rubiano on the park wearing number 3. Dover Bay High School graduate from these parts, 22 years of age. Now another set piece opportunity for the visitors. Can they make one of these pays? I have a difficult time believing that if Victory Shambusho is eyeball to eyeball with Callum Weir, he's not going to cash in on a third attempt. Let's see what they can come up with here. Minute 81. High drifting ball comes to the back post, bounces off the leg. Back post ball, and that's a little bit too long. A good battle there, deep inside Harbourside territory. And we're only too happy just to slow things down and allow his teammates to get forward. Can the home side hang on for 9 more minutes and earn what would be a very valuable point? Again, Weir is quick off his line and snuffs out that through ball attempt. The sun is actually going to play a little bit of a role here in his eyes. Suka's gone the distance. That's lovely. And this might be a break. Rubiano is at the back post. It's a little overlapping ball. Hussein Bahari forces a save out of Coline. Good effort. He looked across. That was cheeky. He looked across, faked like he was going to play it to Rubiano, and then went for the top corner and forced an important save now. some hearts and mouths in the minds of Unity at the moment as they play the corner short, and they'll win another corner here. And I think there is legitimate fear of trying to play a ball in and then getting caught on the counter. Ambrose Tinmouth drops right back as the last man here. Will they play a danger ball into the box here and try to get some of their tall trees on the end of this, because they certainly have targets. That's back post. Coburn going to try to get there. Will he keep it in play? He does, but just for a deep throw-in. Banovich sprinting away, harassed the entire way by Bilodeau, who's done a good job since coming on. Here comes Thompson. Long ball in the direction of Torreson. That was well done, as the danger is cleared away. Kyle Rothy, by the way, looks like he's on at right back for Harbourside. And, you know, apologies for not getting these substitutions to you sooner, but it is difficult. We've had a tough time communication-wise here, and some hiccups with the roster system as well, which is also challenging. Kyle Rothy, the 22-year-old who just joined Harbourside, another of the Sate connection from Alberta, but did play for Lake Hill and Victoria, so there are island connections. Good turn by Powell. Rossi. Powell. 6 minutes to go. Shabusho drops to try to collect. Does well to keep possession. Another Unity throw. And that's no problem again for Callum Weir, who may actually have a claim for man of the match. The goal, I think, by Bahari Suka puts him into the conversation as well. That ball is bouncing. Coline's lost it. It's a chance at the edge of the box and cleared away. What a chance for Harbourside. Rubiano had the goal beckoning, and I think Suka wanted it to his left. Well, that was a chance just then. Holy smokes. And Unity got away with it. And that was good cover on the goal line and good presence of mind, as it was not convincing from Sebastian Coline. He came off his line. It was in a tricky area right at the edge of the box. And Harbourside very nearly had a chance to take all 3 points here with less than 5 minutes to go. Good turn. And nobody at the back post. But again, you know, two players not entirely sure who's taking charge there, as it's suddenly become a little bit nervy from the men in white. Thomas Powell takes and turns. Again, a long ball in the direction of Brandon Torreson. That wasn't Torreson on that occasion. That was James Cameron. And they failed to connect. Ambrose doing his best to try to disrupt Unity right now. Powell dancing away again. Still going, Thomas Powell. Was he clipped? He carries on and gets a shot on target, but the referee comes back and will award the free kick here in the 87th minute after a mazy run by Thomas Powell. He is so good at that, and he is so comfortable with the ball at his feet, and now Harbourside has to defend a very dangerous set-piece opportunity. This is probably from the closest range they've had. And the challenge from this spot, of course, is getting the ball up and down, as a little bit of cramp treatment required here. But is there to be a late dagger from the visitors, who have had the benefit of the extra man And there's the foul. Well, you know, geez, there wasn't really a foul at that. That's the foul there. And the foulee probably looks like he got off worse there between the two. So Shambusho, Torreson standing off of this, and this is a proper free kick opportunity from a very good position. And they've had a couple like this previously, but did not come close, straight into the wall. But this is a different proposition here. This is 21 or 2 yards away. Can they find the net? It's Shambusho, and over the top. Well, he got it up. He just couldn't get it back down again. And it's been a tough first afternoon in Unity colors for Victory Shambusho, who will be frustrated as he hit the crossbar, was denied twice by Callum Weir, and there he blazes over the top. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, what could be a very valuable point for the home side. And it looks like Kevin Lindo's going to make one final substitution here just to perhaps click the time down a little bit. He will be very, very happy, and it's Hussein Bahari who makes way, the goal scorer, who gets a very good ovation. And the young man who comes on is Maxwell Dadsey, an NDSS grad, so he went to school just up the hill from here. 18 years of age, born in England. Can he add something late? Harbourside threatening here. Clipped in over the top from McKinty, kept alive. Rubiano carries on, Rubiano, and that's hammered away. Coburn will let that go out for a Unity throw. We're into the final minute of the 90 here. It's been an enthralling affair in front of a fantastic crowd on an absolutely splendid day. You could not have asked for a better home opener, but the story really turned early with the sending off of the captain, Marassa. Nice little back heel. And off and out. And it's a free kick. Wow. Great opportunity here. As Dadsey did well to earn the foul. Can Harbourside make one of these count? Will they risk it? They leave 2 men back as Victory Shambusho is just standing near the right flank here, and he's ready to go if this ball is won by Unity. But can McKinty whip something in that's dangerous? It's a high floated one. Anybody on the end of it? No. The ball stays in play, and what's the decision here? Harbourside wants a corner. There's no indication from the assistant referee, so it's a goal kick. So we're into 5 minutes of added time. My goodness, I'm not sure where those 5 minutes came from, but it's 5 minutes that could benefit one of these two sides, including Thomas Powell's Unity, as he tries to forge forward one more time. And he has been effective as, again, he looks for that long ball in the direction of Torreson, who gets past one man. Torreson to the byline, just couldn't get it back into the danger area. We saw Torreson's pace there, but the final product was lacking a little bit. Just have this odd feeling that there's still one more plot twist in this match somehow. There have been near misses, certainly lots of talking points. And there are players on the park who are capable of scoring, including the man playing up front for Unity. McKinty. And that's unfortunate as it went off of the back of a teammate, giving Unity a throw in the deep part of Harbourside's third. Over the head of Coburn, out comes Callum Weir, who's had an excellent outing in his Harbourside debut. The Tofino-born goalkeeper sends it long, looking for Bilodeau. Dadzi. Good battle in midfield. Rubiano pokes it through. Dadzi, can he get on the end of this? Tried to cut it back, will win a corner. 93rd minute. And again, Coburn makes his way forward, and unsurprisingly, he's 6'4". He's probably the tallest man on the park right now. Charlie Purcell is a good target as well. Here's the delivery, decent ball. Dadzi was in the neighborhood. Coburn goes up, wins the header, but it's away and into midfield, and Harbourside carries on. Rubiano. And then all the way back to Weir once again, and he's just going to put that deep and anywhere. Nicely done, though, by Tinmouth, who kept it alive for a moment and it's poked away and into touch. When Harbourside went down to 10 men after the dismissal of Matt Marassa, you could not be faulted for thinking this was going to be a long afternoon, as here's a chance now late, and a blocked shot that will lead to a Unity corner. And then when Harbourside went down 1-0 on a really costly mistake that Unity took full advantage of, you could not have scripted what happened next with the goal by Suka to make it 1-1. But here's a late chance now with 90 seconds to go. And Harbourside have to be switched on here to try to hold on to this point. Shambusho's up and just wide again. He had a good look at it. And again, he acknowledges the quality of the service. There were a couple of Unity players in the area, but Victory Shambusho, it's not been his day today. Is it to be Harbourside's day? What would be a very credible draw in the men's division. Straight in the air. And now Rubiano tried to get to his left foot. Thompson. Fergus Hall, who's also had a very commendable game as well, as he's had to shift around a little bit after the dismissal of the captain. Final 30 seconds now. Is there to be one more chance for either side? Good sliding tackle, but the referee decides to give one last free kick, and this has to be it now for Unity. It is now or never to try to take the spoils, and this would be a smash and grab job now. They've huffed and puffed, but they have not knocked down this Harbourside team. Can they create one more moment? Right-footed delivery to the byline. The referee sounds the final whistle. It is a very solid point in the maiden voyage of Harbourside Football Club. Down to 10 men early, behind 1-0 not long after, and they came back to earn a very, very solid point. As we look on, teams exchanging their handshakes. And what a performance by Harbourside to get that point. Hussein Bahari, Suka scoring the equalizer. It's a point each, and given the circumstances, I think Kevin Lindo will be very, very happy with that result. We'll wrap things up from Kaikanish-Cook Stadium here very shortly with some final thoughts and perhaps one more player. The score through 90 minutes, the final score. Harbourside 1, Unity 1. You're watching the featured match, League One BC, on TELUS Optic Television and on YouTube. Yeah, well, go.
League One BC is a critical new level of play that supports soccer's infrastructure in the province. The Hall Group was built on infrastructure projects in British Columbia. This premier partnership between two built-in BC groups promotes the highest standards for people and their growth, while building communities in our province, both on the field and in the field. Hull, Together, we rise as one.
Okay, everybody, let's have a great show.
Jesse's gonna throw. Look out, Harbourside. Got it.
There from full pickup, who will pass it there to Jesse King, who scores again!
At West Shore Motorsports Park. Crossing the box for Parmar, and she's done it! The opening goal!
I'm standing here with the man between the sticks, Callum Weir, finishing the first inaugural game 1-1. What were your thoughts on the team's performance tonight?
You know, we came in, we thought it was going to be a really difficult game. We knew we could compete well. And then, goodness, first 15 minutes, our captain gets a red, and, you know, I knew we were going to have to battle, and I thought the boys really dug deep and did really well to kind of take his back. And, you know, we're not just playing this game for ourselves. We're playing this for our center back, Matt Coburn's mom. May she rest in peace. And I'm very proud of the boys' comeback and resolve. Could have had a different result. Could have had 3 points instead of the 1, but, you know, that's how she goes. And it's the first game, so just something to build off.
Of course. So, no, congrats on the first, inaugural game and getting a point out of the game. And hopefully you can go celebrate with your team.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good. Thanks, Callum.
Thanks so much for watching. It's our first ever live TELUS Optic TV featured match. And what a match it was. We had a great entertaining women's match earlier today. You could watch that on demand on YouTube. But here it was quite a story with a lot of twists and turns. Unity, Harbourside, they share the points. And we look forward to chatting again 2 weeks' time as it's Rivers hosting Notsamot Football Club. I'm Peter Shad. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk again in 2 weeks.